questioning minds of the interwebs, I'm Alexa, resident ookie spooky girly, and today we're once again discussing things NASA should be commenting on, but I guess they're determined to stay silent. Let me know your opinion on NASA these days in the comments, and also be sure to stay tuned until the end of today for another edition of Comment Section Shoutout, and welcome to the top 5 flying cylinders caught on camera that NASA cannot explain. Number 5, Mr. MRMBB333 on YouTube. Welcome back to another edition of why I have 2 Reddit accounts, one for researching information for all of you, and one for my personal browsing. Look, as much as I love talking about UFOs and all things aliens, when I'm at home, I don't need my homepage full of, all of that when I'm looking for wrestling news or creepypasta updates. So this footage was posted courtesy of user KR_research, and they asked, I'm just curious what everyone makes of these recent cylinder videos. I find, them somewhat compelling. I know there are plenty of people who mistake airplanes for Tic Tacs simply because they're filming with a camera incapable of resolving the finer features of the plane, in which case the plane just becomes a white capsule-shaped blob. But is that what's going on here? At first glance, it feels like we should be able to make out some structural features, such as a tail or wings at this distance. But is this simply another example of a camera turning a distant plane into a blob? Same question with the second video, though I do find it somewhat easier to write this one off as a blurry plane. The third video is the recent Minnesota meteor video, and I can't yet bring myself to see it as a meteor, but I'm certainly no expert. Just thought it was interesting that these 3 intriguing Tic Tac-esque videos should surface in such a short time. Curious what the community thinks. Well, trust me when I say the community had plenty of opinions. So for starters, user Space Cowboy 78 said, "These are Tic Tacs gravitating around in public. I had access to MUFON's entire file for 2017 in Excel format for use on another UFO project. The thing most people don't realize is that there are dozens of UFOs reported every goddamn day. You could scroll for hours and hours reading similar reports of discs, spheres, and Tic Tacs from people all over the English-speaking world. I asked their people why MUFON wouldn't make those records public so everyone would realize what we are facing. They withhold them because they were contracted with Bigelow to give him exclusive access before they realized he was a US DoD contractor. So the US got those records silenced by using their same method of avoiding FOIA through contractors. The only reason you're seeing all these clips now is because everyone has a Ring camera and a camera in their pocket, and the stigma of seeing one and reporting it has dwindled to a non-issue. But that doesn't mean they haven't been happening every day forever. It's only a matter of time until the next mass sighting, but this time there will be hundreds of clips to watch. Another user whose name I cannot say on here added that Richard Dolan has an interesting video where he looks at data from all the reporting organizations and tries to arrive at a logical estimate of the number of valid UFO sightings every year, with prosaic explanations ruled out, and I believe the number he got to was 10,000 per year. He makes it clear that he doesn't actually know, and that it's just an estimate. But when he goes through it very carefully, it becomes clear that whatever the actual number is, it's a hell of a lot. So NASA, want to weigh in? Number 4, Windronin. So allegedly this video originated somewhere other than Reddit, but you couldn't pay me enough to venture anywhere near 4chan. I've been active online way too long to make that mistake. Trust me. So this video comes courtesy of user Windronin, who said, "So I saw this thread on 4chan, past the subreddit here, and found at least a few decent looking videos and images. Now it was maybe a LARPer, I was just looking for stuff I haven't seen yet. Without any more info on this, it might just be as credible as a painting, but I hope you haven't come across this one. Enjoy." Okay. Folks, let's just break it down. So user Struggle is Rilla said, "This one looks legit AF. Pretty good design, not gonna lie. A Sport Model Deluxe." Now if you're unaware of what a Sport Model UFO is, allow me to explain. Are you familiar with Bob Lazar? If not, I'd recommend, taking the time now to pause this video and watch some of the others I've done on him, because his story is fascinating. So when he came forward to the public, he said that his job was to help with the reverse engineering of one of 9 flying saucers, which he alleged were extraterrestrial in origin. He claims that of the flying saucers, the one he coined the Sport Model was manufactured out of a metallic substance similar in appearance and touch to liquid titanium. Now Bob said the propulsion of the studied vehicle ran on an antimatter reactor and was fueled by the chemical element with atomic number 115, which, don't worry, we'll get to. In a subsequent interview, Bob appeared unmasked under his own name, because the original interview that he did was under an alias to protect his identity, and he claimed that his job interview for work at the facility was with contractor EG&G, and his employer was the United States Navy. He said that the craft he was working on was dismantled, and the reactor he studied was topped by a sphere or semi-sphere, which emitted a force field capable of repulsing human flesh, and further explained that the craft was split into 2 main levels. So the reactor was positioned at the center of the upper level, with an antenna extending to the top, surrounded by 3 gravity amplifiers. These were connected to gravity emitters on the lower level, which can rotate 180 degrees to help put a gravity beam or anti-gravity wave. Now, he also said the seeds of the saucer he saw were approximately tiny human-sized, and that he had seen alien cadavers of a corresponding size. Now, he's mentioned that this craft would aim its belly to the target and then bring all of the amplifiers to power and fly off in that direction with the belly or bottom forward. So do we think this video, truly caught a sport model UFO on camera? Let me know in the comments. Number 3, Noble Ox. So it seems like this was also part of the same 4chan compilation as our last video, and I'm still not going to touch that site with a 10-foot pole, so I appreciate the sharing of the video. For context, user Noble Ox had the following to say. Found on a compilation of clips, but this really stood out to me. So the most convincing footage I've seen. Some say it's a small object like a cigar holder strung out between two objects as it rotates one way and then the other, but to me it seems it's far off in the distance. Now admittedly I found it on 4chan, but I'm not gonna knock the source as it was in a long list of clips. Some from YouTube, some from other hosting sites. This was from a different hosting site. So what are the regulars saying? Don't worry, I gotcha. A deleted username said, holy F word. I thought this was just gonna be a crappy white dot in the distance, but nope, that is some decently HD SHIT right there. Also, it looks like a deactivated lightsaber, lol. I personally share the sentiment and find the comparison funny. Now Noble replied that the only thing that bothered him is that it rotates one way, then the other like something would be suspended on a wire, but it does seem to be extremely far away in the sky. Best cylinder footage I've seen anyhow. Don't worry folks, the doubt's gonna go away in just a moment. User Kukum said they also saw this in a compilation that was posted on Reddit a few days ago, but this video is much better quality. They think it's very compelling. Like honestly, I don't know how more people aren't talking about this, or if it's already been dismissed here before. Now before the cameraman zooms in on it, you can see it's very far away. So if it's dangling by a wire from something, that something would have to be even higher in the sky. Like I don't even know what that would even be. Is this a weight object to keep a higher balloon in place or something? And if it's a balloon itself, wouldn't it just be swaying with the wind instead of rotating in place? Weird. And good video. User pow 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 wow wow also validated that thought by saying, I mean if it is that, the image would be much smaller, man. That is a big cylinder to be able to see it from that far. They are clearly far away from it. If it's a fake, the item isn't an effing cigar tube that is like 10 inches. Also, where is the helium balloon then? Why can't we see that anywhere? That had Noble, and yours truly convinced about how legitimate this video is. Number 2, David Leavett. Alrighty folks, this time it's technically a video that originated on the app formerly known as Twitter. Did I find it on Reddit? Yes. But it's one of my favorite sources for tales of unknowns flying in the air. So on February 11th of this year, David tweeted this video with the caption, multiple UFOs being followed by NORAD. If you're unaware of that organization, NORAD is the North American Aerospace Defense Command, known until March of 1981 as the North American Air Defense Command. And they're a combined organization of the United States and Canada that provides, aerospace warning and protection for Canada and the continental United States. Now, my first introduction to them when I was younger was that every Christmas Eve, my family and I used to listen to them help fly Santa around the world to safely deliver his presents. Now, the video in question shows 2 different white blips in a bright blue sky, and while the comment section on Reddit was significantly quieter for this video, it doesn't make it any less credible in my book. Number 1, Greensboro UFO. Hey, look at this! A video on today's list that didn't originate from Reddit, 4chan, or even Twitter, but the good old YouTube. YouTube. Pardon me. Freudian slip. So this video was taken by Brett Jones, who enjoys snapping pictures of birds, but was recently rolling, on something out of the ordinary on Saturday, January 25th. He initially described the object as a strange light in the sky near a plane, saying, I just saw this flash in the corner of my vision. I look over and there's a plane and I saw the flash again, but it was just near it. I already had my camera strapped to me and I started trying to capture it, he said. I told my wife, I just saw a UFO. And she said, oh yeah, again? But then I look at the video and scroll and I was just like, I have no idea what that is. Some people argue it's just a balloon, but Jones says the flashing silver and gold lights make him think otherwise. If I see evidence that it's indisputable for me that it would be a balloon, then yeah, I would say it's just a balloon. But after 10 seconds, I couldn't see it in the sky anywhere. Why would a balloon? If it was just twisting around, why wouldn't I see it again, he said. So, let me know in the comments what you think. And that brings us to the end of our list, which means it's time to shout out some memorable comments. From the top 5 live broadcasts that were interrupted by aliens, user Artful Dodger 7838 said, a zombie apocalypse is already upon us. People don't look up from their phones. I've seen people walk into things while staring at their phone. And hey, ditto. And that's coming from someone who has walked into things without even having to look at my phone. Don't ask. From the same video, user Paid Young True said that it's nice to think that aliens are trying to reach out to us to save us from destroying Earth, but that 1977 incident made me think of Heaven's Gate. And, valid point. And that's the end of our time, so if you enjoyed my ramblings, could you help us out by giving this video a like, subscribing if you aren't already, hit the bell for more NASA criticism from us here at Top 5 Scary Videos, and I'll see y'all next time, you lovely spooky people. Oh no, I rewrote part of the part 5 video because I was like, well, that happened over the weekend. That's newsworthy. I asked people why, MUFON wouldn't make. Sorry, can we go back for a minute? It's gonna run off the screen. Oof, there, cute. I asked their people why MUFON wouldn't make those records public.